Hello, gorgeous humans. Happy Monday. Welcome to the morning show. I'm your host, Marli Ansel at Marli Ansel on the Instagrams. And we are here live on a Monday. Welcome to the show. So today we're talking about choosing limitlessness and the easiest way to shift timelines. So today's going to be really juicy. It's going to be really energetic and magical. I'm so excited to bring this topic to you. But first, we must acknowledge tomorrow is my birthday. It's so funny how much my birthday just misses me. But good morning, Chris. But my husband's constantly reminding me tomorrow is my birthday. So we're celebrating this week. We're in happy celebration vibes. And so today we're going to talk about a big, juicy subject that I love. It's one that just lights my heart so, so much, not just because it's a fun topic to talk about, but because it reminds me of the truth. And truth has a very specific resonance, doesn't it? Truth just rings, like it expands your heart. It brings you into this different state of being. And so today's subject is just that. It does it for me every single time. So I'm going to be bringing it to you guys. Thank you, Chris. You always bring so much magic. That means the world to me. Okay. So we're going to kind of divide this into two because we've got choosing limitlessness and then we have the easiest way to shift timelines. So let's break down, thank you. Let's break down what I mean when I say timelines. So if you're in the esoteric world, if you're in my world, you understand this quantum reality of shifting timelines. Timelines essentially means there's an infinite number of versions of reality happening at the same time with different versions of you happening simultaneously. So in theory, I'm not going to even say in theory. It's my show. I'm going to say it like it is. What we're doing all the time is shifting timelines. We're not moving in one linear fashion towards the future, with the future being in front of us and the past being behind us, although it feels like that. That's not actually what's happening. We're really actually shifting timelines all the time and having different experiences of reality. Now, when you catch yourself having the same experience of reality over and over and over again, that's you existing on the same timeline and you're not really changing your energetic frequency to experience something different. Hence, you're staying on the exact same timeline. You're not shifting to have a different experience. So, when we get in this looping pattern, that's when we can get really frustrated. That's usually when we end up going into the realm of the ego, which feels like I'm stuck, I'm in scarcity, I'm in fear, I've got to force something to happen. And then inevitably, nothing happens, right? Because the ego is always just going to loop you. So, what we want to do is get back to the truth, get back to the understanding that what I've done is kept myself stuck in the same looping pattern on the same timeline, which essentially means my mind is staying the same, my energy is staying the same, my thoughts are staying the same, my feelings are staying the same, and you cannot take action outside of what you believe, what you think, and what you feel. You are always, always, always going to take action in alignment with what you believe, think, and feel. So when we're not shifting our internal state at all, then we're going to inevitably end up pretty much repeating the same shit over and over and over again, right? And then we're working harder and we're taking more action and we're like, why is it not working? Well, the reason for this is because the action you take is always confirming the reality you believe in. Go just write it down. The action you take is always confirming the reality you believe in. Okay, so think about it like this. If I take action because I want to get out of something, then isn't that confirming the reality that I'm in something I don't want to be in? Uh-oh. Whoops, right? We see it right away. Okay. So then it's like, well, then what the F do I do? Okay. So here's what you got to do. First and foremost, you've got to really, hi Erica, good morning. You got to really tap into this understanding that there are infinite numbers of timelines that are happening all at once. So you have a reality where you are just like, you can probably see it in your mind. You're thriving, you're on it, you're your highest best self. everything is beautiful, your bank account is overflowing, you've got the love of your life, your career is on fleek. Oh my God, did I just say that? Your career is happening, everything is working beautifully, right? That's a timeline. And it's probably the timeline you're trying to get to, okay? But when you take action to try to get to that timeline, that is also simultaneously confirming that you are not in that timeline, okay? So, what we've got to do is start shifting our perspective to see this timeline as the timeline. Stick with me. This doesn't mean that you're like, fine, I'll settle for this. It's not like that. It's kind you got to get a little delusional, okay? And you've got to start looking at your everyday life now as though it is the timeline where you have it all. Okay. I used to call this back when I did the very first round of the Lightworkers Society, which is going to get revived in some way. I'm still working on how and what. It is, I used to call this the path is beneath your feet. The path is beneath your feet. Okay. So rewind. Let's get it together. Timeline where you're thriving. You got the love of your life. Bank account is overflowing. Career is on point. Everything is working beautifully and in ways that you never could have imagined. Everything is like, oh my God, how is this my life? Okay. So instead of what we've done in the past, which is I'm going to take action to try to get there, whoosh, clear it out of your mind, erase the blackboard. We're not doing that. What we're doing is that timeline, put that pathway right below your feet. Right here, right now, the path is beneath your feet. You are on the timeline of that highest reality. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. You with me? Is it clicking in? I feel it. Right here, right now. Whoosh, put it beneath your feet. I'm walking the pathway of my highest timeline right now. The path is beneath my feet. All I have to do is keep walking. Everything is unfolding. It's happening right now. I am on the timeline frequency of my highest timeline. Did you feel the meld? Did you feel it come together right here, right now? Where before, you can go back there, you can do it again. Highest timeline separated from you. You're here, it's there. Everything I try to do to get there is going to confirm I'm not there because every action you take is going to confirm your reality. Okay, let's take it. Whoosh, put it beneath your feet. The pathway of my highest timeline is beneath my feet right now. I'm walking that pathway currently. I'm in it. It's unfolding. I'm walking it right now. Every action I take unfolds this timeline. Every action I take unfolds this timeline. Do you feel the quick switch? That was 2 seconds. Quick switch. Whoosh. Everything is happening right now. Now, you got to realize too, our little baby minds do not have the capability to fathom how things can unfold. This has been shown to me over and over and over in my life continuously. I know nothing, okay? Like, keep it real, keep it humble. We know nothing about how it can unfold. We know nothing about how the synchronicities can line up. We know nothing about the level of opportunity and people that are going to come into our existence to allow these things to unfold. So, another big, big key, one, you got to know this is your highest timeline. Stop trying to get there because every time you try to get there, you're just pushing it away from yourself. It's here. Bring it right here. The path is beneath my feet. Say it right now. My highest timeline path is beneath my feet. I'm walking it. I'm currently walking it. Watch it unfold. Watch it unfold. Okay. And then the second part of this is you have to realize you don't know anything. Isn't that just so humbling? We know nothing. We know nothing about how it's going to come together. But what we do know is the way that we feel. And the way that you feel is your sharpest intuitive guide. Now, I'm not talking about emotions. There's a big, big difference between how you feel and your emotions. Emotions are fleeting, emotions are waves. They come in, they come out, right? You have a moment of frustration, you have a moment of sadness, you have a moment of anger, you have a moment of bliss. Emotions wave in and out. What I'm talking about is that deep guttural feeling, the intuitive guidance that says, go this way, go that way. Nope, that's not the way. Go over here and go this way. And the way that you can tell what the intuitive guidance is saying to you is that it's either going to feel open and expansive, or it's going to feel constricted and heavy. Open, expansive is a yes, constricted and heavy is a no. So when we start tuning to our bodies more than our minds, that's when we're following our intuitive guidance. So now our mind, we have to get really clear on this because our world and our society has taught us to prioritize logic and mind over everything. But logic and mind can only formulate based on past experience. So that doesn't really make sense, right? It's like, well, okay, so I want to plan my future logically. I would like a different future. I would like a more expansive future, but I'm going to use my mind. So I have to plan my future based on my past. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? So our mind's only job is to interpret what is happening. And if you can allow this, like if you can allow the mind to just interpret what's happening currently, and you can follow the intuitive body guidance on which way to go and how you are being directed, then you're going to start tapping into that higher vibrational part of you that is that higher self guidance. So if you can think about like your higher self has like this bird's eye view, you can see all the twists and turns and lefts and rights and everything that could happen and everything that is the potential and the opportunities. This is that guidance that's like, I don't know why. I just feel like going to a coffee shop this morning. So I think I'm just going to go. This is that, like, I don't know. I think that I really have this idea that just came out of nowhere. I think I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. This is the intuitive guidance. So when we start following that, that's when we start tapping into the magic. We have to stop putting so much emphasis on the mind because the mind is also programmed for survival. And unless you're planning a whole life of survival, we don't really want to rely on the mind to guide us, right? We want to drop all that extra busy energy down. We want to get into the heart. We want to get into the belly. There's been a lot of scientific study that has shown and proven that we have a heart brain. We also have a gut brain. And in fact, the heart brain has something like 40,000 more neurons in it than our actual brain does. It's something, I mean, I could be getting that entirely wrong, but it is something really significantly more is happening here than is happening here. And so when we can start to tune more, we're just dropping all that energy down, get it out of the head. One of the things that Tony Robbins used to always say that I really loved was, you get in your head, you're dead. Because the head does what? Plans and for survival and strategizes and overthinks. And it's just painful, it's sufferable. But if you get really clear and you drop that energy down, and you say, if I was leading myself from a place of abundance and I knew exactly what I wanted, what would that be? And you will have such a clear answer every time. You will know exactly what you want. You'll know exactly where you want to go. Is it always going to be logical? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But let's think about this. Do you want a logical life? I mean, I'm just like going to propose it, throw it out there. Would you prefer a logical life? Or would you prefer a life that feels like literal magic and things are happening and unfolding left and right that you can't even explain? I mean, call me crazy, but I'm going to go over here. So we want to get clear on that. So we're dropping our consciousness into the heart. We're starting to lead from this space. And My ladies that are in the miracle matrix, this is the energy we're going to start getting into this month, dropping out of the head and down into the heart and allowing that intuitive guidance to be the lead of our life. Now, this comes with practice, right? This isn't something that like we all can do overnight because probably, most likely, a lot of us have been super trained in do the smart thing according to logic. And the smart thing, according to logic, is based on societal past or societal pressures that come with checking these certain boxes that everyone has said leads to what you're supposed to do, but rarely leads to success and happiness, which is an interesting thing. We got to start questioning it. So, we're shifting timelines by saying that highest timeline right below your feet. You're in it right now. It's happening. You're walking the path of your highest timeline right here, right now. The more action you take in your highest timeline, the more you're going to see your magic and miracles start to unfold. Everything is starting to happen in that highest, beautiful way. What's your highest timeline? You got to get clear on what that vibe feels like. I'm overflowing. I'm happy. I'm in joy. I'm confident. I feel good about myself. Life is just working out in the most incredible way. Everything I've ever dreamt of is starting to happen now. You've got to put that timeline below you where you're walking it. Don't put it outside of range. What's the point of that? Don't do that. Put it right here, right now, regardless of what life has been for you, regardless of the meaning that you've been making up about it. You've got to let that go. And you've got to tell yourself it's part of the highest timeline and I'm walking it right now. The path is beneath my feet. The path is beneath my feet. And then we're dropping the logic mind as our guide. And we're dropping all that energy down into the heart. Let's just do it right now, real quick. You want to do it right now, real quick? Okay, if you can, just close your eyes. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. Right? But if you can, close your eyes. We're just going to take a deep, deep, deep breath all the way to the bottom of the belly. Take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top and let it go, letting your exhale be longer than your inhale. Do it again. Deep breath in. Hold. And this exhale, I want you to just see all the busy just dropping away. Drop it off of you. One more time. Deep inhale in. Hold. And on this exhale, your point of view, drop it down into the center of your heart. All of the energy. Now imagine your heart and this glowing, beautiful energy. Just tap into this center that keeps you alive, that pumps your blood, that flows the life force through you. Just tap into that for a second. And from this point of view, I just want you to bring into the awareness of right in front of you, what is something you're just so appreciative of right now? Just the energy of appreciation. What is something you just truly can just like give so much appreciation for? And just feel that energy swell this heart center. And now, second, just bring in something like, what am I proud of myself for right now? What is something I could just be really proud of myself for? And just bring and swirl that energy in right now to the heart center. And then lastly, bring the image and the feeling of that highest timeline and just bring it into the heart center right now. Just see yourself living that best life, you as your best self. Everything's working in your favor. It's just so beautiful. You can't even explain how good and how it even happened. You don't even know how it happened. Just bring it into that gratitude, that appreciation, bring it into that pride for yourself, and just swirl it all together. And now I want you to just bring up the day that you have in front of you. And I want you to just ask yourself, what is my intuitive guidance leading me to do today? What is it? What will it have me do that will work in favor of the highest good on this highest timeline path? What is your best action to take on this highest timeline path and just trust whatever comes through immediately. And then we'll go ahead and take a deep inhale in, staying in the heart as you open your eyes and you come back into the room. Tuned in here, leading from here. Anytime you start overthinking, drop it down. Take your deep breaths, drop down into the heart, bring yourself back to that centered state, bring yourself back to that truth. Because every time you tune to that highest vibration, you are moving in alignment with that version of you. You're shifting timelines. You're becoming that version of you. It's so simple, we make it so complicated. How do I be the highest timeline version of myself? I start to embody what that version of me would do, think, feel now. You're right. It's you. It's not outside of you. It's you. It's right here, right now. So I look at it from that perspective. How would this version of me move? How would this version of me think? How would this version of me feel? We move from that place, and that's how you begin to embody that version of who you are. Okay, so now, last piece. And this is going to be one of those where it's like, "Meh, meh." I've heard this before. Daily meditation. I know. We're like, all right, thanks, Marli. But truly, and I'm going to give you a really, really solid reason why you want to do this. If you consistently meditate daily, even 15 minutes, guided meditation that tunes you to your heart, or you can download one of mine. I have plenty for free. In fact, if you comment abundance routine, it will send you an automatic link to get my 30 days of prosperity morning routine. So start in that routine. Here's why it matters. Daily small consistencies, even just 15 minutes of a meditation routine tunes you, shifts your brain waves, shifts your energetic frequency to a higher timeline, which is a different version of you. It's these consistencies. So as you just sit, and this is why I say it's the easiest way, because what do you have to do to meditate? Grab your coffee, sit your butt down in a cozy spot, and press play on a guided meditation. The fastest and easiest way to shift your timeline is to do a daily consistency that moves you to a higher vibration. Meditation is the fastest and easiest way to do that. It requires basically zero effort. Okay. So much easier than me trying to action my way to a higher timeline, being like, what do I need to do to make all this stuff happen? Sit down and meditate. Tune your brain waves to a higher vibration. In the abundance routine that you can get for free, I explain the science behind all of this. When you have your brain that's operating in one frequency, meaning like in our brainwave frequencies, when you're in that high beta state, that's that state of like high anxiety, because we need to be there every now and then when we're in like get shit done. But a lot of us are there all the time. Just this high anxiety mode where we're like, I've got to get this done, I've got to do that, and da 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 da, and all of that. When you're up there, you're looping in the same reality all the time. Meditation drops you all the way down to those gamma brainwaves. And when you're all the way down here, now you have the capability to reprogram your brain to a higher vibrational state of peace, grounded, and calm. The more consistent you do that, the more it's going to put your brain waves into that alpha state, which alpha state is my inner world is the one that's in control of all of my reality. I explain it much more in depth in that abundance routine meditation download. Again, you can just comment abundance routine and it'll be sent to your messages automatically. But the more that you do this, the more you shift. And it happens in a natural way, a natural state. You're going to find yourself just feeling more peace. You're going to find yourself just trusting life more. You're going to find things start to unfold for you just automatically. It's not going to feel like that same scarcity, fear based pattern routine anymore. It's going to feel like I'm walking a different timeline because you are. So when we shift our point of being, our identity, our internal state of being, then everything in your reality starts shifting to match you. It's not because there's some magic morphing machine. It is because you're shifting timelines to different versions of you. Wouldn't you rather be existing in the version of you that feels peace, calm, grounded, confident, successful, abundant, prosperous, all the beautiful things? Wouldn't we rather that? Well, we have to do that intentionally. Amen. Okay, my loves, that was a good one. So happy all of you guys are here. Okay, so here's what we have right now. Early enrollment is open for the Spiritual Coach Training Program. Now, if you don't know, this is my 6-month training program that teaches you how to coach and guide as a transformational coach. So if you have wanted to create a big career change, or you just want to know and do this work for yourself at a really high level, maybe you want it to help you with your partnership or with your parenting or the way that you show up at your job. Inside this 6-month training, I'm going to be teaching you the subconscious mind techniques to rewire the brain. I'm going to be teaching you the quantum energetic work, which is my signature magic. This is how we shift old energy out of the body and we start to bring in that new high vibrational energy. I'm going to be teaching you identity work, which is identity shedding, letting go of past versions of you as you step into the new higher timeline version of you. I am going to be teaching you the embodiment work. I am going to be teaching you coaching mastery skills, and you're going to be receiving everything you need to start building your coaching business online. So if this is something you've been interested in, this is an all-encompassing curriculum to teach you exactly how to do it. It is one of the most powerful things I've ever created. Every time I re-listen to the program, when I reteach it, I like have waves of just excitement that people are learning this information, that you're learning how to do this properly. So if you're interested in learning the techniques of transformational coaching, I invite you to come and check it out. You can comment waitlist and I'll send you the link so that you can get the early enrollment details. You can see everything that it comes with. You can see the bonuses that you get. You can see the investment price with the early enrollment little discount. You're going to get to see it all. So if you're interested in that, you can comment waitlist or you can just reach out to me directly if you have any questions about it at all. And that's a wrap. All right, my loves, I love you so much. I'll see you here on Wednesday for another episode of the morning show. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.